The old Enugu State Secretariat, built by the colonial administration, may have been a relic of an oppressive sovereign. When 14 years ago the government of Enugu State under Sullivan Chime demolished the colonial structure, it was considered the end of a time that should be forgotten. But even then, some persons considered it a waste of public resources since the building had been renovated at cost to the taxpayer before its demolition.
People want to start their own projects, have their names written on it. They call it legacy projects. That is their own project written on their name. But it is naive for anybody to reason that way, because the history will be there. Posterity will judge you. Even if you inherited it and completed it, the history will be there. Okay? The records will be there. It does not matter who started it.
The promise of the new secretariat designed to replace the old one raised hopes that a new order was about to make the work life of Enugu State civil servants more comfortable and productive. With 4 blocks, A, with 3 buildings, B, 3 buildings, C, 5, and D, 2 buildings. The new secretariat complex promised more space for the workforce and well-distributed pressure in facilities. There are provisions for walkways, driveways, car parks, stormwater drainage, and even vegetation area. The project, which includes alternative power to the public power, only had 2 blocks, A and B, completed by the Sullivan Chime administration. The 8 years of Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi administration did not place any priority on the completion of the project, leaving many government ministries, departments, and agencies operating from rented accommodation.
Secretariat was, conceived and executed by a governor. One would have expected the governor who took over from then governor, former governor Sullivan Chime, to complete work on that secretariat. But for one reason or the other, we didn't see work at the secretariat completed. I mean, it's so worrisome that when you go to that secretariat, you still see scaffolding here and there. No electricity in that secretariat. You hear generator everywhere.
The uncompleted Enugu State Secretariat is creating 3 challenges. The 2 blocks in use are facing the very pressure on facilities which the Secretariat was designed to solve. The dispersal of organs of state administration and public service is creating challenges of coordination, easy service interface, and easy access to the public. Above all, the uncompleted blocks reflects government as unperforming. Honorable Harrison Ogara is a member of Enugu State House of Assembly.
I went into the contracts that brought about the new secretariat. I wrote to so many companies, Tennessee, and especially Tennessee, that had the contract to do the installation of ICT. At a point, we discovered billions of dollars paid to a company without executing the project. The other contractors that did the project, they are here to give me a reaction based on the letter I wrote to them to tell me what happened. Why did they not complete that project?
Ogara fingers contractors who handled the project as partly to blame for the non-completion of the project. He says a time to account will come because the legislature is willing and ready to ask questions.
The building of Secretariat in the first place was a scam. You know how much that was used, applied to demolish the area, the buildings there, and how much that was used to build the Secretariat. There were so many facilities that were supposed to be in that Secretariat, especially Tennessee. None was installed, money paid. And I challenge Tennessee to come out and say, these are the things we have done. I'm upbeat about knowing what happened to the Secretariat, how much was actually involved in the construction. At what point did the company abandon? Each of the companies awarded some in ICT, some in the structural building. So who did not do what? And how much paid? We the Enugu people need to know.
A journalist and the national officer of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Rex Arum, who covered previous administrations and their handlings of the Secretariat project, Enugu state government's attitude is different. He says the Peter Mbak government will not leave the project unattended to.
Talking about the present administration and its focus and interest in ensuring that projects that have been since abandoned in Enugu State are done is like saying the obvious, they're interested. And of course, they're not just interested, they have started action on those projects. We can attest to the fact that this administration is truly focused on ensuring that projects abandoned in Enugu State. There are numerous other projects, and of course, the present administration is looking that way.
The current Commissioner for Information in Enugu, Ake Izaka, corroborates the optimism of Rex Harum. He told Signature TV that work on completing the Enugu State Secretariat has commenced.
The government of His Excellency, Dr. Peter Ndubi Simba, has come with a lot of watershed activity, behavior, governance, and administration all packed in one. Because he came with a novel way to govern a state. Why I'm saying that is that governance has been on in Enugu State for a long time. And he came with what he called disruptive innovation.
Completing the state government secretariat will be another promise fulfilled by the Peter Mbak government in Enugu State. It will not only provide a centralized and efficient workspace for public servants, it will also save costs and give a respectful face to Enugu City. In Enugu, I am Justice Ama for Signature TV.